Have you ever noticed those quiet millionaires who don't drive flashy cars or live in giant houses, yet somehow build amazing wealth? As an accountant who has reviewed thousands of financial statements, I've realized something most people miss: real wealth is almost always built quietly, using a 6-month formula that few people even know about. It's the same steady strategy Warren Buffett has used for decades and the same one I've seen ordinary people use to completely change their finances. The richest clients I work with never follow the usual financial advice. Instead, they stick to a simple, systematic plan that may seem boring until you see how powerful the results are. This 6-month formula isn't just about earning money, it's about resetting your financial foundation so wealth grows automatically, even while you sleep. But here's the key: the final step is the most important one, the part that separates people who reach financial freedom from those who stay stuck, and it's the exact opposite of what most financial experts tell you to do. That's why I want you to stay with me until the end, because one small shift in how you handle money could completely change your financial future. If you're serious about building silent wealth, comment "I'm ready for silent wealth" below, because the very first step toward financial freedom is declaring your commitment today. Month 1 is all about a financial checkup, like looking at a map before starting a long trip, because you can't build wealth if you don't know where you're starting from. The first step is to calculate your net worth by adding up everything you own: bank accounts, investments, property, vehicles, and subtracting everything you owe like credit cards, loans, or mortgages. The number might surprise you, but even if it's negative, don't panic, because even Warren Buffett started somewhere, and he once said, "You only find out who's swimming naked when the tide goes out." Next, look at your last 3 months of spending, because most people run on autopilot and don't notice where their money goes. One client thought he had nothing to invest until he saw $430 every month disappearing into unused subscriptions. That's over $5,000 a year wasted. The truth about budgeting is that it's not about cutting out joy, it's about removing what adds no value, like gym memberships you never use or paying for 5 streaming services when you only watch 2. One client made just 3 phone calls, cut $320 a month, and freed up nearly $4,000 a year to build wealth instead of losing it. Think of your money like a professional kitchen where everything has its place: one account for fixed bills, one account for investments you never touch, and one for daily spending that ends when the money runs out. This structure alone can change your finances quickly, and research from Northwestern University found that financial clarity lowers anxiety more than even doubling your income, because when each dollar has a purpose, decisions become automatic and stress disappears. Right now, you're at an important crossroads. Most people stay in financial fog, guessing at their situation, but you're about to see it clearly. Just remember, clarity without protection is worthless, because what good is building wealth if one sudden event can wipe it all away? That's why the wealthy always use an invisible shield that keeps their money safe even during economic storms, and that's exactly what you'll discover next. Month 2 is about building what I call your financial shield, the protection that turns life's emergencies into small inconveniences instead of disasters. Imagine waking up to a $3,000 emergency bill. For most people, that means stress and panic, but the wealthy don't worry because they've created a security fund that acts like an invisible barrier between them and financial chaos. Think of it as your personal insurance policy against life's surprises. The big mistake people make is treating emergency funds as one size fits all, but the truth is your situation determines how much you need. If you have a stable government job, 6 months of essential expenses is usually enough, but if you're self-employed or in a risky industry, you'll need 9 to 12 months. To calculate your number, add up your basics: housing, food, utilities, minimum debt payments, and multiply. For example, if your monthly essentials are $3,000, with stable work you'd want $18,000 saved, while self-employed you'd need closer to $27,000 to $36,000. Another mistake is keeping your fund in the wrong place: too easy to spend or too risky to lose. Wealthy people avoid this by putting their "sleep well at night" money in high-yield savings accounts like Ally, Marcus, or SoFi that pay 4 to 5% interest. One client who moved $40,000 there now earns $1,800 a year in interest with no risk. If you're starting from zero, don't panic. Redirect half the savings you found in month 1 into your security fund, sell unused items for quick cash, and funnel every bonus, refund, or side income directly into this account until it's fully funded. The most important step is automation. Set up automatic transfers from each paycheck, because the wealthy know automation always beats willpower. Once your shield is in place, everything changes. You make better choices, you take smart risks, and you stop living in fear of what if. According to the Federal Reserve, almost 40% of Americans can't even cover a $400 emergency without borrowing, but by completing this step you've already moved into the financial elite, not because of the amount you have, but because of the way you've structured it. And here's the secret most people don't know: security is only the beginning. The truly wealthy go beyond this by using legal strategies to pay far less in taxes while keeping their assets safe from almost any threat, and in month 3, I'll show you exactly how they do it. Month 3 is about asset protection and tax reduction, because building wealth without these strategies is like hiking up a mountain while someone secretly adds rocks to your backpack. You end up working much harder than necessary. The truth is, there are completely legal ways to reduce taxes and protect wealth, but most financial advisors don't talk about them. For example, Warren Buffett pays a lower tax rate than his secretary, not because he's breaking rules, but because he uses the tax code strategically, and you can too. Think of the tax system as a maze. Most people follow the crowded path and pay the maximum, while the wealthy find hidden routes that save them money. Your first mission this month is to protect your assets from risks, because in today's lawsuit-happy world, trying to build wealth without protection is like trying to catch rainwater in a sieve. A simple living trust can save your family thousands in legal fees and months of hassle by avoiding probate, which also keeps your finances private. If you own rental properties or run a business, never keep them in your personal name. One client had 3 rentals personally, and when a tenant sued, everything he owned was on the line. After creating an LLC, only those properties were at risk. Another overlooked protection is an umbrella insurance policy, which costs around $300 to $400 a year but provides $1 million in liability coverage, making it one of the most cost-effective protections available. But it's not just about protection, it's also about how you invest. ETFs, exchange-traded funds, are smarter than mutual funds because they generate fewer taxable events, keeping more of your money in your pocket. Health savings accounts, HSAs, are another powerful tool the wealthy use, offering triple tax benefits. In 2024, a family maxing out contributions at about $7,000 to $7,500 could save more than $22,000 in taxes while also building a medical expense fund. Traditional savings accounts, which pay less than 1% while inflation runs at 3%, actually guarantee you lose money every year, so the wealthy protect themselves with inflation-resistant assets like Treasury inflation-protected securities, TIPS, and real estate. Once your strategy includes these protections, the shift is dramatic. You're no longer just earning money, you're keeping more of it and defending it from nearly every threat, creating a peace of mind most people will never know. Sadly, most Americans never implement these safeguards, leaving themselves exposed to unnecessary taxes and legal risks. But protecting assets is only half the equation, because there's another hidden factor that keeps millions of people financially trapped without even realizing it. The wealthy use a specific strategy that can fast-track financial independence by years or even decades, and in month 4, I'll reveal exactly what it is. Month 4 is all about smart debt elimination, because carrying the wrong kind of debt is like hiking up a steep mountain with rocks being secretly added to your backpack. You don't notice at first, but eventually the weight becomes unbearable. That's exactly how bad debt drags down your wealth journey, while the average American throws away more than $8,700 every year just on interest. Imagine if that money was invested instead of disappearing forever. The wealthy understand a key truth: not all debt is created equal. Good debt is low-interest borrowing, under 5%, used to buy assets that appreciate or generate income, like a mortgage or a loan for an income-producing property. Bad debt, on the other hand, funds consumption and depreciating assets, like credit cards charging 18% to 29% interest or car loans where the vehicle loses 20% of its value as soon as you drive it off the lot. Here's what banks hope you never realize: paying off a credit card with 22% interest is like earning a guaranteed 22% return, something you'll rarely see in the stock market. One client had been investing $500 monthly while barely paying down high-interest cards, but when he redirected that money to eliminate debt first, his effective return skyrocketed. Now comes the critical decision: which elimination strategy to use. The snowball method targets the smallest debts first, giving quick psychological wins that keep you motivated. The avalanche method focuses on the highest interest debts, saving the most money long-term. Both work, but your choice depends on whether you value motivation or efficiency more. Before you even start, though, there's a simple step most people skip that can speed things up dramatically: lowering your interest rates. One client called her credit card company, asked for a reduction, and got her rate cut from 22% to 16%, saving over $600 a year on a $10,000 balance, just from a 10-minute conversation. That's like earning hundreds of dollars for less than an hour of work. Once you begin paying off debt, everything shifts. As balances shrink, you'll feel lighter, freer, and more in control of your money. Clients often say they sleep better, argue less about finances, and feel more optimistic about the future. But eliminating debt is only half the battle, because the truly wealthy don't just clear liabilities, they use a powerful wealth-building secret that lets them accumulate fortunes with little effort, and in the next step, you'll discover exactly how they do it. Month 5 is about financial automation and efficiency, where your money starts working for you even while you sleep, your bills are paid on time, investments grow, debts shrink, and everything runs smoothly without effort. This isn't a fantasy, it's how the wealthy live every day. The truth is, financial success doesn't come from superhuman discipline but from building systems where good choices happen automatically. Even Warren Buffett didn't rely on daily brilliance, he built rules and habits that worked in his favor. Most people lose money through avoidable mistakes, like the average American paying $250 a year in bank fees just from forgetting due dates or overdrawing accounts. Automation solves this instantly. Set up automatic bill payments, use balance alerts to avoid overdrafts, and you've eliminated 95% of common financial errors that silently drain households. But here's the real wealth-building secret: psychology. You can't spend what you never see. If money automatically moves from your paycheck into savings or investments before hitting your checking account, your lifestyle naturally adjusts. Start by automating transfers to a high-yield savings account or retirement plan, and always take full advantage of employer 401k matches. If they offer 5%, that's a 100% instant return, something no other investment can match. One client set up a $200 monthly automated investment into an S&P 500 index fund 20 years ago. Today it's worth over $148,000, proving the power of consistent automation through market crashes and recessions. To take it further, set up a multi-account system where your paycheck automatically splits into fixed expenses, investments, daily spending, and specific goals. This way, when your spending account runs out, you simply wait until the next cycle. No stressful budgeting required. Once your finances are on autopilot, your situation steadily improves month after month without constant effort, while you save mental energy for the bigger things in life. The wealthy understand that consistent, automated action beats occasional brilliance every time, yet most Americans still make hundreds of money decisions each month, wearing themselves down with decision fatigue. By automating, you've freed yourself from that burden and built the foundation for long-term growth. But there's still one final piece missing from the puzzle. What if your money could work harder than you do? In the last month of this journey, you'll learn how to create passive income streams that pay you whether you're working or not, and that's the ultimate wealth secret revealed in month 6. Month 6 is all about building passive income, the ultimate wealth secret that lets money flow into your account even while you sleep. Imagine getting a notification not for another bill, but for a deposit, money arriving like clockwork every month. That's the power of passive income, the tool that separates the wealthy from everyone else, because while most people trade hours for dollars their whole lives, the wealthy create assets that keep paying them without constant work. Your first step is to set a target. How much monthly income would change your life? For some, even an extra $1,000 or $2,000 would make a huge difference, while long-term freedom means covering your yearly essentials. If your monthly expenses are $4,000, that's about $48,000 annually, the point where working becomes optional. To reach that, you'll need proven, reliable income streams, not risky get-rich-quick schemes. Dividend-paying stocks are a favorite, with companies like Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, and Procter & Gamble paying and increasing dividends for over 50 years, often growing faster than inflation. For easier diversification, dividend-focused ETFs like Vanguard's High Dividend Yield ETF or Schwab's Dividend Equity ETF give broad exposure, and one client with a $300,000 portfolio now collects $12,000 a year in dividends without selling a single share. Real estate investment trusts, or REITs, are another powerful option, as they own income-producing properties and must pay out 90% of profits to shareholders, with some even paying monthly dividends for steady cash flow. The key is avoiding the mistake of chasing ultra-high yields, which almost always carry higher risk. Instead, focus on steady, proven streams that grow over time. The wealthy rarely rely on a single source. They diversify across 3 to 5 income streams, so if one slows, the others keep working, creating security and redundancy. The first time you see passive income hit your account, even if it's small, everything changes. You realize money doesn't have to only come from your labor, and that's the breakthrough that shifts your financial future. By now, you've built the 6 pillars of lasting wealth: organization, security, protection, debt strategy, automation, and passive income. These are the same principles the wealthy have quietly used for generations. But this isn't the end of your journey, it's the beginning. The truly wealthy keep learning, adapting, and optimizing their systems to grow stronger every year. The question now is, are you ready to take what you've built and step into the ranks of the silently wealthy who let their money grow and protect them for life? If you found this video useful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to not miss our future uploads. See you in the next video.